Welcome to Financial Clarity, everyone. I'm Jack, and today we're diving into a critically important topic with our financial security expert, Sarah Thompson. Sarah, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Jack. This is a topic I'm particularly passionate about because it affects so many people.
You know, just last week, I saw an ad promising to turn $100 into $10,000 through crypto trading. It got me thinking about how these promises must sound to someone who's really struggling financially.
That's exactly the kind of targeting we're seeing, Jack. When you're working two jobs and still barely making ends meet, when your credit isn't great and traditional banks keep turning you down, these crypto promises can sound like a lifeline.
Let's break this down for our listeners. What makes crypto scams particularly dangerous for people in financially vulnerable situations?
The desperation factor is real. When you're struggling financially, your decision-making process can be compromised by the stress and urgency of your situation. Scammers know this, and they're experts at exploiting it.
And I imagine the promise of quick wealth is particularly appealing when you're in that situation.
Absolutely. Just look at what happened in 2022. Bitcoin's value dropped by 60%, but during that same period, scammers were still promising guaranteed returns. They prey on people's lack of crypto knowledge and their desperate need for financial stability.
That's staggering. What are some of the red flags people should watch out for?
The biggest red flag is any guarantee of returns. In the crypto world, just like any investment, guaranteed returns are a myth. If someone's promising you can't lose money, that's your first warning sign.
You mentioned guaranteed returns being a red flag. What are some other tactics these scammers use to make their offers seem legitimate?
They often create a false sense of urgency, saying things like, "This opportunity won't last," or "Only the next 50 investors get this special rate." They might also show fake testimonials or doctored screenshots of enormous returns.
That reminds me of the old saying, if it sounds too good to be true.
It usually is, and here's something crucial. They often use social media influencers or fake celebrity endorsements. They'll create elaborate websites and even fake trading platforms that look completely legitimate.
I've noticed they also tend to use a lot of complex technical jargon. Is that part of the strategy?
Exactly. They overwhelm people with technical terms and complicated explanations about blockchain and mining algorithms. It makes victims feel like they're getting insider knowledge, when really, they're being confused into compliance.
Let's pivot to something really important, alternatives. What legitimate financial tools should people consider instead?
This is crucial. Many people don't realize there are legitimate programs designed specifically to help lower-income individuals. For example, the Earned Income Tax Credit can provide returns of up to $7,000 for eligible families.
That's significant money, and it's completely legitimate. What about banking alternatives?
Yes, there are several fee-free banking options now. Apps like Chime and Acorns have made banking and investing much more accessible. They often have no minimum balance requirements and can help people start saving, even if it's just a few dollars at a time.
And these platforms are regulated, right? Unlike many crypto schemes?
Exactly. They're FDIC insured and regulated by federal banking laws. Your money is protected, and there are clear procedures if something goes wrong.
For someone who's feeling the pressure of financial hardship, what would you say is the first step toward financial stability?
The first step is to recognize that legitimate financial improvement takes time. It's about building sustainable habits, not finding quick fixes. I always recommend starting with a simple budget and identifying free financial education resources in your community.
Sarah, you mentioned financial education resources. Could you be more specific about where people can find reliable guidance?
There are excellent free resources available through the FDIC's Money Smart program, local credit unions, and nonprofit credit counseling agencies. These organizations offer personalized guidance without trying to sell you anything.
And I imagine these organizations can help people work through credit issues too.
Absolutely. Many offer free credit counseling and can help create debt management plans. They can even negotiate with creditors on your behalf, which is far more effective than trying to solve everything through a risky crypto investment.
Speaking of risk, what should someone do if they've already invested in what they now suspect might be a crypto scam?
First, stop sending any more money, no matter what promises or threats you receive. Document everything: screenshots, emails, messages, then report it to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center and the FTC.
Is there any hope of recovering lost money?
It's challenging, but not impossible. The sooner you report it, the better your chances. Also, if you used a credit card, contact your card issuer immediately about fraudulent charges.
Let's talk about prevention. How can people protect their friends and family from falling for these scams?
Communication is key. Share stories about scams you've heard about. If someone tells you about an amazing crypto opportunity, help them research it. Remember, scammers often tell victims to keep investments secret. That's a huge red flag.
And what about building long-term financial resilience? How can people work toward that?
Start small. Even saving $5 a week adds up. Look into employer-matched retirement programs if available. Consider certificates of deposit for short-term savings goals. These aren't exciting get-rich-quick schemes, but they're proven paths to building wealth.
As we wrap up, what's your most important message for our listeners who might be struggling financially right now?
Remember that your financial worth doesn't define your personal worth. There are legitimate resources and people who want to help. Don't let desperation push you into the arms of scammers. Take small steps, seek reliable help, and be patient with your progress.
That's powerful advice, Sarah. Thank you for sharing your expertise with us today. To our listeners, we'll include links to all the legitimate resources mentioned in today's show notes.
Thank you, Jack. Remember, everyone deserves financial security, but it comes through education and smart choices, not through crypto shortcuts.
And that's all for today's episode of Financial Clarity. Stay safe, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.